Welcome again to this channel. And today we are going to learn another important topic in SQL Server, which is temporary tables and global time tables. So we are going to understand the theoretical part, their life cycle, why we need them, how we can create them, and how we can use them. So we are going to understand tables, time tables, global time tables, but we have to make sure where we have to use it. So first, let's get an understanding of everything, and then based on your assumption, you can use them anywhere. Maybe inside the procedure, maybe inside some set of queries which you want to perform an action. So basically, where you temporarily you need some data to be there, and then you don't need it after some time. Those scenarios comes as a part of temporary tables. So let's see. Let's quickly see it with the help of document. Okay. So as I said, there are two types of temporary tables, local and global. So first, let's understand the local time table. Local temporary tables start with same definition. The way you create a normal database table, it goes with the same, except the one symbol, which is hash or pound, So using that, it turns out to be a temporary table. Okay. So these are visible only to the current session and then drop automatically when the session is closed. What is a session? We understood this also earlier. When we are sending a request to a server, maybe set of queries or set of statements, that particular moment, that particular request, whatever we have written, we are trying to execute something. Whenever we send some request, it treated that as a session. So now that session comes to the SQL Server and it responds. So still you are having a connection with the SQL Server. You are having a connection with the SQL Server. It means you are still in the touch. So your connection is not ended. So when you close the window, when you maybe close your laptop or your you disconnect with your client and server communication, so that is one session. So during one session you can send multiple requests. And it remembers that you are still session 1, and maybe you start some other window with session 2. So it recognizes that as a session 2. So it has its own methods to identify what is a session. Basically, a client connect to a customer in a SQL Server. That is nothing but a connection, a session. So let's quickly see. So temp table is nothing but like that. You can see. The syntax same as the table except this symbol, hash symbol. So using that, now this table will be temporarily created. Okay, now global temp table. So global temp tables are visible to all the sessions. Just now we talked about session 1, session 2. Now you created a table something in session 1 and you are looking for and you want this table in session 2 also. Maybe you wanted to do something. Maybe you wanted to do employee information. Then in the session 2 you wanted to do update some salary information of the same employee. So you need that. You need it. So maybe one of the best example is of global timetable in your interview is when you use a master SP and master SP calls many other SPs, child SPs, SP1, SP2, SP3, right? In the store procedure 1, you are doing some insertion to the temporary table. Now you need the same table to be available into the procedure 2. Then how it happens? Because there are the different differentiations when the procedure 1, procedure 2, procedure 3 will run, right? So if you want some tables to be available, which is also temporary, it will go once all these 3 sessions are closed. So when you need some temporarily across all the sessions until the server is up, this is active, or until you manually drop it. So you want to access in the session 2, session 3. Then we have to go with global time tables. Okay. So the example is very simple. We use double hash. Create double hash global time table. Same table structure. There is nothing. Now scope. As we just discussed the scope, local temporary tables are only visible to the current session, which we are going to test right just now. The naming convention you can give hash, global time table you can give double hash. The life cycle remains till the session and global time table life cycle remain throughout all the sessions. Okay, so performance is definitely not good because it's stored in the time database. Okay, you can read all this information to our blog on our website if you're interested. Okay, so create timetable, simple. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create this. Okay. So let me increase. Let me set something so that you can see it. Okay, you'll see it happening. I hope this is visible now. And yeah, so you see the table is done. Okay, I can show you. Right now it's an empty table. Okay, you see it's empty. Okay, now let's put some data. Insert into temp table, same syntax. So the syntax also goes the same. Same temp table, insert into value, same the way we do with the other tables, the same way we do with the temp tables. Okay. Now if I'll run it, so let me run it. You see, now we have two rows. Now what I was referring as a session is this particular window, right? Query number 26. Okay. Now we are this session is active. This particular window. This particular window is establishing a connection with the SQL Server. Where it is? If you see in the down, you see here local. Currently, I have a SQL Server in my local and my ssms, which is a client tool that is also in local. Both are in local. But in future, when you work in the real projects, your server will be somewhere in some other countries and you will be connecting from some other countries. It's possible, okay, in using the cloud. Now, using my account and everything, I am connected. So now this particular thing is a session. Is a session to a server. Now, if I'll go to another query window, which is, let's say, new query. Now, this is a 27. Okay, please see SQL query 27. Now, here, I'm going to run this table. And let's see. It says invalid object did not find. It's not able to find. But is it active? How we can say it is active or not? Let's see it again. Let's run it again. This is previous session, query number 26. Okay. Now, where exactly these tables are getting saved? If you want to see it, how we can see it? Let's see. Go to the Object Explorer. Go to go to the TempDB. Where we can get TempDBs? You remember in our first session we talked about master, MSDB, TempDB. You remember? Okay. Here. TempDB and then temporary tables. You see what is the name we have given? Temp table. And what you see here? Temp table. You see it is definitely, of course, with some binary codes. It appends. Suppose many sessions create the same name @t, right? I mean hash t. Many guys will just prefer hash temp, right? So it has to identify based on the session. It will append some more names as a system name and try to do it. Even it's accessible for a user with the same name because SQL Server knows it is smart enough to identify which user is requiring or required this temp table. So it maintains a user and session based on that it returns. You don't need to worry about that. So I hope you can see it, right? Okay. Now I wanted a global temp table. Huh? So you can update also, you can create many other things, indexes and everything, right? Okay, let's see how you can drop it using just how the way you drop other tables. You can simply say drop table name. Here you say drop table hash table name. And this is an example of global temp table. Okay. Let me copy both the things. Okay. So let me run it in front of you. Okay. Sorry. This always go on that side. Let me bring it down so you can see it. This is a double hash. This you can see it's a global temp table. Okay. Now here I'm going to insert some data. Done. Okay. Now this is created under 26. Okay. First, let's try to access this here. Accessible. Okay. Now I'm going to copy and put it here in the session 27. It's working. Let's create one more new session. Okay. You see, it is also working for the new session. So global temp table is available for all the session. If your server is up, once your server is restarted, this will be gone. Okay. So make sure when you use that, now that comes to the usage. So we have to make sure what is our purpose. Our purpose is within the session, or we want the temporary data to be available for all the sessions. Okay. Now let's again go to the document. Let's see some more important information. What else we can do with the temp tables? Definitely use temporary table when it's necessary. Do not just go every time with the temp table. Sometimes we can simply do with a set of queries with CT. We will also talk about a CT in our next session. So make sure when you need it, you use it. Okay. Use simple data types. Suppose you are maybe loading some data or doing some operations. Don't try to give big NVARCHAR max, text, image, binary, those kind of complex. It will slow down the temporary tables. Okay. So these are interview questions. What are the best practice you can follow when you create a temp table? What things you have to remember? What are the things you need to take care? So they will ask it in other way. Okay. Appropriate constraints. Suppose you want to make sure it's a temporary table. So do not try to put much restriction on it. Okay. Make sure what you're putting, it really makes sense. Okay. And use indexes. Suppose now your table is very large, maybe 2 million, 3 million, 4 million data. Sometimes we need it. We can't skip that part, right? We can't ignore that. So in that case, let it load all the data. But suppose you are doing where class or join or something, then use indexes. Indexes also we will learn in our upcoming sessions. There are 2 types of indexes. We are going to talk about it, spending more time in that session. For this one, let's keep it on the temp table. And